Mad God is a stop-motion film made in 2021. This movie is unique in many ways, whether it is its limited dialogue, different types of animation, or its story that is told strictly through its visual side. Hello everybody, my name is Robin, and today we will dive into one of my favorite stop-motion and animation overall movies of all time. That movie is Mad God. There's a chance that you possibly have never heard of it or have at least never watched it, because despite its uniqueness and actually being somewhat interesting, it has been severely underlooked. So, all the more reason for me to rant about it. As always, it will be a great help. As always, it will be a great help if you left a like on this video, subscribed, and check out more of my videos. Currently, we have 2 short movies out, and we are working on many more, so you can check out my stuff. Anyway, that's all for the introduction. Let's go for the essay. One of the most interesting facts about this movie is the fact that it was made for over 30 years in total, starting in the year of 1987.
Was that the bite?
The story itself isn't as important as the thoughts that it evokes. It was created to show the history and all of the worst things that humanity had done. Unbased hatred, animal testing, slavery, or war. Maybe it's supposed to be a warning, or maybe it's simply supposed to open viewers' eyes. I don't know. But everything in this film is a mirror of reality. Building the pyramids, Hiroshima, First and Second World War, or Bleak. There's a hint of many different languages, for example French, Latin, and other. They work as a reference to the story of Babylon Tower. You know, the story where God had given each their own language so they couldn't talk to each other, couldn't understand each other. Film is listed as an animation, horror, sci-fi, and fantasy. Although, in my opinion, the horror part is made more by the style of the animation than the work itself. The creators are playing with the sizes of the characters and spaces, with the time and lighting. They created a breathtaking sceneries that you can tear your eyes away from. The story begins with the building of the Tower of Babylon. Then follows an image of a world that is destroyed, left in dystopia with a nearly post-apocalyptic feel. We meet our main character, or protagonist, but we are not really given their name or mission. In the credits, they are listed as the assassin. He leads us through the dark side of the world, showing its normalcy when he steps on and kills 2 fighting miniature people without even noticing. With a map in hand and a telescope, he starts his journey. He ignores how everything around him is dying, how it's hurting. He has many chances to save many of the characters, and yet he never does. We're introduced to more characters. These are puppets like ragdolls, who work from the moment they are created just so they are destroyed in the next. They are whipped and forced to work. All the while, an unintelligible voice of a newborn is ordering them around from the intercom. This is probably the clearest, allusion of the film. It's supposed to represent slavery. We learn that the assassin's mission is to place a bomb. He does so, but it gets stuck right before the trigger. He is attacked and dragged away by a monster. He wakes up on an operation table and watches as the time slows. A doctor comes in and starts to straight up pull his organs out, throwing them around the room. Along with the organs, other things starts to fall out too. Coins, jewelry, valuables, books, everything. The one thing that the doctor is after is a worm? What even is that, seriously? And he pulls it at last. Personally, I think that it's supposed to represent either innocence or a soul. The nurse takes the worm. With the sound of child cries, she takes it away. Meanwhile, the doctor inserts a wire into the assassin's head and places memories on an old TV. In his memories, we are introduced to a new male character, in credits called The Last Man. His character is very interesting, to say the least. He is rendered with very long nails on his hands and feet, and everybody listens to him. He orders 3 women whom are very similar to Greece. I'm not sure how to read this word, I'm so sorry. From the Greek myths and legends, to sew a map for the assassin who is to be sent down. And we're thrown back to the beginning of the movie. We're riding and driving through different parts of the world. We are shown poverty and war. When the assassin, whether the one we have seen before or a different one, crosses the border of a war zone, we are returned to the present. The nurse gives the worm to a character resembling a plague doctor. Another character thrown into the mix is one credited as the alchemist. That I can only describe as the collector. A different one than the one we have already seen before. Which, if you are interested in more collectors, then you should check out this movie breakdown of the Collector trilogy. In his space, we can find exhibited corpses, aquariums, terrariums, numbers clocks, and books. The characterization of the character can be seen through the situation where 2 monkeys were fighting, attacking each other instead of shoveling droppings. So the alchemist gives them an electric shock, and while they are suffering in pain, he's just laughing. The plague doctor brings the worm to the alchemist, and after crushing it alive, they use its remains to create a golden glitter, which the plague doctor throws out of the window. The following scenes are quite confusing, but my theory is that he's trying to understand why was the world destroyed. We can see the Big Bang, evolution of humans, and mainly finishing of the Babylon Tower. Tower turns into the city, and 2 people looking similar to assassin break into what was once the tower and put a bomb in there, spraying letter A on the wall, just like the name assassin. This scene is one of the reasons why I think that the Last Man is a representation of God, since he's the one sending the assassins to Earth. The bomb goes off and destroys the whole world. Back to the alchemist, more precisely, to his clock. The time flies faster and then starts running backwards. We can see all of the things and themes that took place throughout this movie. At the end, it comes back to the bomb that the assassin planted in the destroyed world, and the hand finally unstucks and clicks to the trigger. The last scenes of the film shows the Last Man, as he's looking down the same tunnel through which he sent the assassins to Earth before. One of the things I love most about this film is its realism. There's not a single character in the whole movie that I could call good in like a heroic way. All of them show some kind of negative characteristic. Pride, greed, wrath, envy, lust, gluttony, and sloth. Every single one of the deadly sins can be found in different characters of the movie. The main character, credited as assassin, is hard to characterize. We know that he's immoral, and that he only cares about himself and his mission. He doesn't talk at all, and he's one of many. There's also the theory of the assassins being angels, which I personally can see, but it has never been confirmed nor denied. The Last Man is, in my opinion, an image of God. The reason for this theory is, for example, the fact that he lives in a world above Earth. He's looking down on everyone, and nothing ever happens to him during the bomb explosion at the end of the movie. He's proud and arrogant. He's taking care of how he looks. He's played by Alex Cox. The Doctor is a character whom we get to next to nothing about. However, the nurse is fleshed out quite well. She's played by Nikita Roman, and her character is tied to the emotions of fear and guilt. She listened to the doctor's orders and gave the worm to the plague doctor. She was later on woken up from her sleep by nightmares. The plague doctor is the closest we get to a hero. He's trying to find out why the world was destroyed and how to fix it. And sure, he kills the worm to get the golden glitter, but it was for a good cause. He speaks, most probably with some language similar to Latin, but it was unconfirmed. The last important character is the alchemist, who we could simply describe as a sadistic collector. He owns spiders whom he takes great care of. He collects clocks, books, bones, and similar things. He laughs at others' pain. The director Phil Trippett himself had said this about his work. I quote, "The final form of Mad God is not the film itself, but the memory of it after you see it. It brings you to the moment just after waking up from a dream, when you return to the fragments of your own distracted mind before they dissolve into the shadows. Exactly that moment, Mad God, is the way to get into it." I think that this is a perfect explanation/definition of this movie. It's an exploitation of everything wrong we as humanity had done throughout the history. It serves as a thought process of the evil in our history and a warning for it to not repeat. Phil Trippett, whom had written the script and directed the whole film, had a clear vision. He worked on Mad God for over 30 years, starting in the year of 1987, and when we realize how much had the technology progressed between these years, it is very clear how much he put into it. He was also one of the cameramen, along with Chris Morley. I would also like to mention the music used in this film, orchestrated by Dan Vool. Michael Cavanaugh and Ken Rogerson worked as the editors. Along with a great script, they managed to hold the attention of the viewers for an hour and a half, even without using any intelligible dialogue. The filming crew were mostly volunteers, whom most of the time had no experience or talent for/with stop motion, but Phil Trippett worked with everything he had. To watch this movie is truly an experience that you won't get anywhere else. It's not a perfectly made film by any means. The use of green screen is more than evident in some of the scenes, and in many others you can see each shot, every photo. However, I'm sure many will agree with me when I say that is part of the film's magic. It's a great film for discussion. It evolves many questions and thoughts. And I think that even if you won't watch it 10 times in a row, there would still be something that you didn't notice before. Even though it's not a movie for everyday evening watch, it is something that every fan of animation should consider watching, even if only for the breathtaking look of it. Mad God is probably my favorite animated movie of all time. And even if I just spent like the whole video spoiling it for you, I highly recommend you watch it for yourself. There are still many things that I decided to just cut from this essay. And truly, the experience of watching this film, watching an essay or a breakdown of this movie doesn't do it justice. It's an experience that you just have to live through yourself.